Hey guys, just woke up like this.
So you guys know I love sheet masking, but I must confess I'm not very consistent with it. Now, a lot of people in the skincare community really feel that sheet masking daily is the key to great skin. So I decided, why not challenge myself? I'm gonna do a sheet mask 7 days in a row for 1 whole week, and let's see the results and see if it's really worth it. So give this video a big thumbs up and let's find out if you should be masking daily. So I figured the easiest way to go about this challenge to mask 7 days in a row was to pick up one of these Lululun mask packs. Now this is a Japanese brand that packages 7 masks in one little package. So they really encourage you to mask daily for a whole entire week. So I thought, what a great way not only to, experiment with this challenge with the same mask for 7 days, but also a great way to test out this product. So there's a lot of different varieties of the Lululun mask packs, but I decided to go for their premium line with the Kyoto green tea mask. Now this mask actually features a ton of green tea. So if you are a green tea fan, check this one out. It's chock full of green tea. It includes Yuji green tea leaf extract, green tea flower extract, as well as green tea seed oil. So lots of green tea goodness in here. It also features silkworm cocoon extract, which is a really interesting ingredient. I did a little bit of research on it, and it actually helps with transdermal water loss. So it actually really helps to strengthen your moisture barrier. Now this mask claims to nourish your skin as well as smooth your skin, to hydrate, and also to help improve elasticity of the skin. And good news for all you sensitive skin types out here, this mask does not contain any alcohol at all in the ingredients list. It's actually a fairly clean ingredient list. It smells like tea. I was kind of wondering what it was going to look like inside. So these are folded up really nicely inside, and then the 7 masks are just folded right on top of each other really neatly. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite juicy in there. So it looks like each mask is really well saturated. Okay, very easy to pick up the one sheet. Seal this little Ziploc up. So I have to admit, the fit of this mask is kind of weird. Actually, it's not very good, to be honest with you. Oh guys, this looks really tiny. Doesn't that look like a smaller sheet mask? Okay, there's hardly any room for my eyeballs. Oh gosh, yeah, there's no room for my eyeballs. This is some pretty intense masking. Look at how far up it goes to my eyes. It's a very tiny mouth hole. It's very narrow at the sides, and the eye holes are super duper tiny. They're honestly so tiny, I actually poked my eyes a couple times with the mask the very first time I put it on. They're just very tiny, and they kind of go all the way up to the lower and top lids of your eyes. So it's a very, very close fit, and you gotta get it just situated right on your face. The nose area is also a little bit challenging because it's so narrow on the sides. It never really sat properly on the sides of my nose. It was always kind of stretched to fit the sides of my face. So this is really good for tiny noses, flatter noses, but for my nose, it did kind of tent up at the sides here. Now, once I did kind of get it, situated and in place, this mask did not slip at all. It actually clung to the skin really, really nicely. Now, this material, it is a thicker material. However, it's incredibly soft, and these masks are super duper juicy. I was actually really impressed with how juicy these masks were. Day 2 mask is on. I am laying down because you know what? When you do a sheet mask, you should do a little something nice for yourself. I think there's maybe a little masking glow going on here, just a little bit. Now I have to tell you, I was pretty worried about 7 masks being contained in one little packet. Opening it up, closing it, opening it up, closing it, exposing it to air. I figured the 7th mask at the end of the week would be pretty dry. That was not the case. These masks stayed really juicy, really moist, and very hydrating throughout the entire week. And there was actually a lot of essence left at the bottom of the packet, even after the 7th mask was gone. I really like the fact that all 7 of these masks come in one package. And I like that they're not separated by little plastic dividers or anything. This really encourages, a lot of masking without a lot of waste. Something else that I really liked about this mask pack pack was the fact that you really are cutting down on the amount of trash that you're creating when you do 7 masks in a row. Now, if I were to do 7 individual masks from a different brand, I would have 7 different packaging plus possibly backing on all of those masks to throw away in the trash. You know, most of this is not recyclable. That is not something that I'm super comfortable with. So when I go ahead with a whole week's worth of masking, to know that the only piece of trash that I'm throwing away besides the masks is this packet, that made me really happy to know that I wasn't contributing a lot of waste into the environment just by doing more masks in the week. There really wasn't too much of a smell to these masks, you know, definitely didn't have any kind of green tea fragrance or anything like that. I really can't pinpoint the very, very faint fragrance that it did have. I would have to just say that it was just light and pleasant, and it really didn't notice it at all through the masking experience. Now, what I really like about these masks is they're short-term masks. You know, when you commit to 7 days of sheet masking and you're not used to it, it can feel like a really big time commitment. And for me to leave these masks on for about 10 to 15 minutes was just the right sweet spot amount of time for a sheet mask for me.
So far I'm kind of on the fence about any type of results so far with the day 3 masking, but we'll see. We still have 4 more days to go, so there's still some time to see some benefits. So I will see you guys tomorrow.
So what were the results? That's what we all want to know, right? We want to know, is masking for 7 days in a row really worth it? And I have to say, I think it really is. Now, let me tell you, my skin, starting off on this masking challenge, my skin was pretty irritated, and I feel like my moisture barrier had been compromised by using some harsher chemical exfoliants before starting this routine. So my skin definitely did feel irritated and felt a lot more dehydrated than it normally does. It definitely had an issue with hydration. So honestly, the number one benefit that I gained from 7 days of sheet masking was hydration. I definitely felt like by day 4, sheet mask 4, I felt like my skin was a lot more hydrated. When you're a dehydrated skin type, and especially when you have an irritated moisture barrier, you know, it's hard to keep moisture in your skin throughout the day. You start your day off after doing your routine, patting in all your hydration layers, feeling great. And then by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, your skin starts to feel dry and tight. It's thirsty again. It's a really uncomfortable feeling. And I have to tell you, by about mask 4 or 5, I really felt, all of a sudden I realized it was like 5, 6, 7 o'clock time to do nighttime routine. And I realized that my skin didn't feel dry, irritated, you know, it didn't feel burning at all. It was comfortable through the entire day, which for a dehydrated skin type is huge.
Welcome to day 4. I haven't really noticed too much of a difference in my skin as far as appearance, but I will say I do realize that my skin is feeling less dry throughout the day.
So it's been really interesting doing research into the silkworm cocoon extract that's present in this particular Lululun mask, because silkworm cocoon extract actually can help repair your moisture barrier and speed up the healing a lot faster, because basically what it does is it helps to reduce the water loss that you get throughout the day, which explains exactly why my dehydrated skin was still feeling comfortable at 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So this really did help heal the irritation of my moisture barrier. It really did help my skin feel soothed and protected, and I definitely think that it helped heal that moisture barrier.
But I would say that my face is definitely brightening up. I did have some hyperpigmentation over here, if you remember from day 1. That is looking a lot lighter, and that's pretty quick for that hyperpigmentation to lighten up so much so quickly in, you know, 5 days.
I also noticed that my skin looked a lot brighter and more even toned. I would say, again, I think that by about mask 4 is when I really started to see a lot of the benefits of sheet masking for 7 days in a row. So by mask 4, I really noticed that I had like a really nice even tone on my skin, and my skin just looked a lot like brighter and healthier looking. Now, you know, when you do a sheet mask, you take the mask off right away and you're like, ooh, I've got that sheet mask glow, but it really doesn't last maybe half the day, maybe a full day, but then by the next day, you know, you don't really have that brightness to your skin anymore. I felt like I had that brightness and evenness to my skin like all the time. By after, you know, sheet mask 4, I felt like my skin was always just looking really healthy, really bright, very clear looking. So I definitely think one of the benefits was just that my complexion just was a lot healthier looking.
Tomorrow is the very last day, and then we will know the final results of this experiment. So until then, good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Another benefit that I noticed, which I think is due to the hydration that these masks provided my skin, is that my skin looked a lot more plumped up. You know, it looked a lot more bouncy. Now, I do get a little bit, I mean, I'm not going to call them wrinkles, you know, just some lines, and it definitely comes from a lack of moisture in my skin, especially right here around my mouth and sometimes around my eyes in this area. And I did notice that those lines were looking worse before I started the sheet mask, and I noticed that after, again, about day 4 or 5 on this one, my lines were a lot more plumped up. They're not as deep as they were appearing before I started this challenge. My skin just looks a lot bouncier. It looks a lot firmer. It just looks more youthful. So another benefit of the sheet mask that I started to notice a little bit closer to the end of the masking journey was that hyperpigmentation seemed to fade a little bit quicker. You know, my dark marks from acne were going away a little bit quicker.
Let's see. I'm going to meet you guys back here tomorrow for my final thoughts. I think I should give it one more night just to see, you know, the long-term benefits of how my skin is looking after the last mask.
So, is masking for 7 days in a row really worth it? I think it actually is. You know, the biggest benefit that I saw from this was hydration, and this was everything for me because it helped heal my moisture barrier quicker, and it really helped plump up my skin. It helped me with, you know, fine lines, and it also helped me with hyperpigmentation. So for me, the benefits were worth it. The biggest takeaway from this challenge for me personally is that masking consistently is really the key to success with sheet masks. You know, I used to think that sheet masks were really just kind of something fun that you could do, that was something that would help you relax, a little bit of self-care, and definitely you could use it as like a targeted treatment for something if you wanted to, but daily masking, in my opinion, prior to this challenge was kind of pointless, in my opinion. Now that I've done it for 7 days in a row and I've really seen some great benefits from it, I really think the biggest takeaway for me is doing it consistently. Look, am I going to be doing it 7 days in a row, 365? I don't think so. You know, that's a big commitment for me. I don't see myself masking that often, but I do see myself incorporating more masks into my weekly routines, you know, maybe 2 or 3 masks a week to really try to keep up that consistency, to really keep up those hydration benefits. I really think that even just like a consistent routine with sheet masks, even if it's every other day, that is something I think you'll still see a benefit from. Will I do 7 days of masking maybe leading up to a big event? Definitely, because I do see the difference when you do it consistently. And that's the key. Consistency. It doesn't have to be every day, but I think if you have a consistent schedule, you're really going to reap a lot of benefits. So let me know in the comment box, do you guys sheet mask daily, or are you more consistent or inconsistent with your sheet masking routine? Let me know in the comment box below. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and then you'll never miss the next time I upload a new skincare video. I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye.